Hello everyone. Today I wanted to do this video to show you how you could recycle some old speakers. These are actually out of some Dre Beats, or Beats by Dre. I always forget how they pronounce that. But these were a folding pair of headphones, and the folding mechanism on one side just completely broke. So I went ahead and I designed these little enclosures to hold the woofers. And I went ahead and did inserts into all of this just to kind of make it serviceable and a little bit more reliable if I need to change anything. And what I did on this is I did half of the speaker recesses into a channel into the back half of the enclosure, and then the other half sets into the front half of the enclosure. And this just really locates everything and kind of places it without a lot of thought having to go into it. And I did make this a little tighter than it needed to be, but it'll probably help with sound quality a little bit. And I tried to get this QR code in the shot a couple of times in case you have some of these headphones and you want to make sure you have the same set. And this, I used these stereo plugs, and the type of cord that I bought was a dual mono to stereo plug. So I'm only wiring these up as a mono plug. Since there's two halves, it'll be a stereo hookup. I don't know if you can see here, there is a little plus and a minus. The minus is to the left and the plus is to the right, so that lets you know what the polarity of this speaker is and what the pads are associated with that. And this is actually a little scrap piece of wire I got from my work. Yeah, I probably could have made this a little bit more exposed to get a screwdriver or pliers onto it. So I had to leave this gap because of the earmuffs kind of snap onto this little lip and they need a channel to go into. So I felt like this was the easiest way to create that with two pieces. And here's the pads that I got. I think these were $8 on Amazon. I like that they had the R and L on the pad itself so you could kind of quickly identify the orientation on the speaker. Yeah, this is always a little bit of a pain to get started, and then once you get it going, it's pretty straightforward all the way. I've had to replace these on some of my other headphones, and it's always a little bit of a pain. And this was some aluminum strip I got over at Home Depot. I think this was very cheap. I think $4 or so for this like 4 foot or 36 inches for this 3 foot section. So not too bad. And I just basically made the rear of these a pinch type clamp. So it's got a channel that's only about 120 or 120 thousandths deep. And the bar is 1/8 inch. So it should pinch onto it pretty good. And this is a roller, a little bead roller that I got for free. I actually bought something from a guy and he asked me if I wanted this. Kind of ended up making marks on the aluminum. So since it made marks, I decided to try to make a real quick little foam pad just to kind of cover up some of the aluminum. I wasn't really planning on making this, and I think it came together a little bit rushed. And this is a Durkoff Adler sewing machine. This thing is an upholstery machine, so it can kind of sew through anything you put under it. This is a marine grade vinyl. And this is a packing foam. I think this came with a 3D printer I got. This can always be a little bit tricky. Here I'm basically folding the vinyl onto itself so that the edges are all rolled over. But here's what they kind of came out looking like. They actually sound very good, but the comfort leaves a little bit to be desired. They're a little bit tight. You can kind of bend them and make them comfortable for you, but then if you hand them to somebody else to put on, they're probably going to be uncomfortable or loose on them. Thank you for checking this out, and go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for some other methods and stuff like that, let me know.